네, 안녕하세요. 카프라 TV 시청자 여러분. 제 이름은 제임스 아니고요. 오늘은 1월 3일 일요일 오후 12시 45분입니다. 오늘 아침 11시에 캘리포니아 그 비즈니스 릴리프 그랜트 웨비나가 한국어로 펼쳐졌습니다. 그래서 한 1시간 반 동안 12시 반까지 이제 저기 그랜트 신청 절차 오버뷰를 이제 저기 스몰 비즈니스가 아니고 어쨌든 이거 관리하는 그 부서에서 한국어 통역사를 통해서 여러분한테 이제 A부터 Z까지 설명을 해드렸는데 아직도 답을 못 드린 그 질문들이 여러분이 많으실 거예요. 일단은 나는 지금 프리 애플리케이션을 신청을 했는데 지금 현재 로그인도 안 되고 뭐 웹사이트가 안 된다는 이제 질문들을 많이 하셨는데 얘네들이 이거를 다 알고 있습니다. 그래서 지금 중요한 부분은 내일 아마 랜드스트리에서 랜드스트리라는 이 웹사이트 회사에서 이런 그 테크니컬 문제들을 이제 해결을 해드릴 거라고 내일이 아주 기대가 크다고 내일까지 한번 기다려 보라고 합니다. 그래서 지금 현재로는 여러분들이 그 CA Relief Grant .com 들어가셔서 어플라이를 하실 수가 있지만 지금 다큐멘트 업로드가 안 되고 지금 여러 가지가 지금 테크니컬 문제 때문에 안 되고 있대요. 그래서 여러분들이 조금 기다리셨다가 내일 한번 들어가셔서 일단 보시는 게 좋고 일단 오늘 그 웨비나를 제가 녹음을 했기 때문에 여러분이 요거를 한번 보시면 다시 한번 보시면 오늘 참석하신 분들은 다시 한번 보시고 참석 못하신 분들은 요거를 보시면 조금이라도 좀 질문이 있으신 부분들이 좀 해결이 될 것 같아요. 통역사도 아주 잘 했는데 막판에 그 Q&A가 시작하기 전에 통역하는 한국 분을 갖다가 그냥 디스커넥을 시켜버렸어요. 그래서 좀 여러분들이 좀 물어보고 싶은 질문들을 많이 못 물어보셨을 텐데 어쨌든 내일 많은 업데이트 나온다고 합니다. 그래서 일단 오늘 이 영상 보시고 그 애플리케이션 시작을 먼저 하시는 게 좋을 것 같아요. 네, 같이 보시죠.
We are going to spend the first couple of minutes just going over where we're at today with the website itself and applying, and then we'll get into the basics of the program for people that don't know a lot about it and that need some more information about that. And then we'll get into the application process, and then we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. If you want to go to the Q&A chat box and ask any questions, we'll try to answer them. Yesterday we had about 1,200, so I can guarantee we will not get to all of them. But we do take your questions and submit them into Lendistry to make sure that they're aware of what it is. So again, we are going to go through this to the best of our ability, and we'll be doing it in English and in Korean. So it will go back and forth, slide by slide, and then we will go through the following pieces. But I do want to update you with where we are at with Lendistry and the website and the portal. So let me take you there first, actually. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second. I'm going to take you right to, if I can get there.
So we know that, good morning everyone, my name is Scott Rogowski. We know that the link is not working for you to sign back in. We also know that you're not able to upload at this time. We ask that you be patient, and we understand that you're frustrated, but we ask that you be patient, and we'll have more updates tomorrow. But as of today, unfortunately, it's the same message. If you were on yesterday, it's the same message today that it was yesterday, that the link is still not working for you to sign back in and for you to upload. You can still apply though. So Mike's showing that right now as we see it.
So this is the homepage for the careliefgrant.com website. So right now, the only thing that you're able to do is fill in the initial application, which we will walk you through in just a moment. We know that some people got kicked out, so maybe you only filled in part of it. We know that most people weren't able to fill in all of their information with the required uploads. And so Lendistry is working on it. We should have hopefully some updates for you tomorrow as to what the next steps are. But for now, the only thing that you can do is put in the initial application information, which we will walk through in just a moment.
Now, Mike, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Am I supposed to do everything simultaneous? Because I was told to do it consecutively, so I was just waiting for like natural stop.
Yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we're ready. We just wanted to give an update, and then we'll get into the PowerPoint in just a second.
Sure.
So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to walk everybody through these other pieces. But, you know, keep asking your questions. We'll try to get to as many as we can. But for now, we're going to go back to the PowerPoint, and we're going to walk through the basics of the program. And like I said, we're going to do this today in English and in Korean. So we'll go slide by slide. Let me just share my PowerPoint with you. Give me 1 second. Okay, so again, today we're going to go through the basics of the program. We're going to walk you through an application and what you can actually fill out today. And we know that there's a ton of questions, and we'll try to answer your questions through the application piece. But we also know that you cannot get back into your application if you filled something in incorrectly at this moment, but you will be at some point in time. So with that, let me introduce everybody just so you're aware. Scott Rogalski covers Northern California for the SBDC. Manal Richa and myself cover Southern California and parts of Orange County Inland Empire for the SBDC. Julie Wagner is going to translate today in Korean. And we have Roger Lloyd, who runs our digital media center at Rancho Santiago. So we have a full team here to try to answer as many questions as possible. But as we get through this, the SBDC is partnering with the state of California in helping Lendistry get the word out. And so we are trying to make sure that we give you the information you need to fill this application out successfully. And then we can also help you one-on-one work through this if you need that help. So we have 5 networks spread throughout California. Scott comes from the NorCal SBDC network, and Manal, Roger, and myself both come from the Orange County Inland Empire SBDC network. But we have 65 centers, and we'll get to that at the back end of this, that are all here to help you one-on-one through this. We have about 2,000 consultants. We've all been versed on how to do this to the best of our ability, and we know that there's still some questions that are in the gray area, which we will discuss a little bit today, and we'll go through that. This is the site, and so now, Julie, if you want to join me, so I'll go through this. So it's careliefgrant.com. It opened up on Wednesday, December 30th at 6 a.m. And the first round runs through Friday, January 8th at 11:59 p.m.
안녕하십니까. 저는요, 지금요, 통역사, 줄리 웨그너입니다. 지금 현재로요, 웨비나를 통해서 여러분들께서 지금, 노던 캘리포니아에서 이 프로그램을 주관하고 계시는 그 마이크 데니얼스가 설명하시는 걸 들으셨는데요. 지금 오늘은요, 지금 현재까지 어떻게 이렇게 여러 가지의 슬라이드를 통해서 여러분들에게 신청 절차를 갖다가 기본적인 걸 알려드릴 거예요. 지금 우선은 웨비나 프로그램에 대해서 간단하게 설명을 해드리고, 그리고 신청 절차를 간단하게 설명해드리고, 거기에 나와서 또 자주 하시는 질문에 대해서 알려드릴 거고, 그리고 구체적으로는 설명에 들어가게 되는데요. 지금 현재 지난번에도 했을 적에 한 1200개 정도의 질문이 들어왔었습니다. 그렇지만 그 질문이 너무 많아서 다 답변할 수는 없었지만은, 저희가 그것을 갖다가 랜디스트리라는 그 기관에다가 보내서 질문을 갖다가 다 해드리려고 노력하고 있습니다. 그리고 여러분들께서 이제 저희 포털을 통해서 신청서를 갖다가 업로드 하시는 그 절차에 대해서도 알려드릴 텐데요. 지금 현재 저희들이 약간 문제가 있었던 걸 알고 있습니다. 이 웨비나에다 업로드를 하는데 문제를 갖다가 아직도 있었고, 아직 완전히 고치지는 못한 상태이지만은 지금 현재 저희들이 이 문제를 해결하려고 노력하고 있고요. 그리고 여러분들께서 이미 신청을 갖다가 하셨던 분 중에서 그 정보를 잘못 기입하신 분들이 있습니다. 그런 분들은요, 아직 지금 수정할 수는 없는 상태입니다. 그렇지만은 저희들이 이 문제를 다 해결하는 즉시 다 수정할 수 있도록 그렇게 될 거고요. 그리고 또한 저희들이 지금 여기 현재 같이 보시다시피 저와 로저를 뺀 나머지 3분들은요, 지금 남가주 소기업 개발 센터에서 일을 하고 있고, 지금 스캇만 북가주 소기업 기업센터에서 일하고 있습니다. 이런 센터가 지금 캘리포니아에서 65개가 되고 있고요. 1차로 저희들이 신청서를 받기 시작하는 것은 여기에 시간이 나와 있는데요. 12월 30일 6시부터 시작해가지고, 날짜가 제가 지금 잊어버렸는데 1월 8일 금요일 11시 59분까지 받고 있습니다. Okay, Mike, go ahead.
Perfect. So Scott, you want to go through this page?
Yeah, definitely. So Julie, I'll read probably the first half on the left side, and then I'll go over the chart. About the program. So the program, the California Relief Grant Program, is $475 million worth of funding. This is a grant. It's not a loan. It's administered by the California Office of Small Business Advocate and will be distributed by Lendistry. So unlike the PPP, and there's not multiple lenders. There's only one lender. It's Lendistry for the state. The state has the money. Lendistry is the intermediary that is going to disperse the money to you, the grant. And there's other third parties like the SBDC, Small Business Development Centers, that are here for you to help you through the process at no cost. There's 2 rounds. Mike said the first round is started December 30th and goes to the 8th of, goes to this Friday coming up, January 8th. Then there'll be a second round, which we'll talk about as we go through the next week. The program is not first come, first serve. So please understand, it's not first come, first serve. That means you can apply anytime from today to the 8th for the first round. And then the application portal will be open for for-profit and nonprofit businesses, which we'll go over what those mean. The grants are available up to $25,000 per eligible business. It's dependent on your yearly annual gross revenue, which we'll go over where to find that number. A minimum of $1,000 and a maximum of $2.5 million. Your business had to have been active as of June 1st, 2019. If you started your business after June 1st of 2019, you do not qualify for this grant. And if you make over $2.5 million in gross revenue, you also don't qualify for this grant. And active for a business means generating income or revenue. So Julie.
Yes. 그리고요, 지금 현재 말씀드리는 거는요, 이 Cal Relief Grant라는 건데요. 이것은 캘리포니아에서 제공하는 소기업 비즈니스 웅호 단체에서 관리하는 4억 7,500만 달러를 갖다가 지원금을 여러분께 분배하는 건데요. 이 지원금은 랜디스트리라는 그 업체에서 중개자로서 배포하며 추가 지원을 제공하기 위해서 랜디스트리에서 지정된 제3자 그 파트너와 함께하고 있습니다. 그리고 이 돈은 두 차례에 걸쳐서 지원금이 분배된다고 생각하시면 되는데요. 1차는 약 2억 3,750만 달러를 분배하고 2차에서도 2억 3,750만 달러를 분배하게 되는데 이 프로그램은 선착순 방식이 아닙니다. 1차, 2차 지원 포털은 영업 중인 영리사업과 비영리사업 신청자를 위한 것인데요. 이 지원금은 유자급 기업당 최대 25,000불까지 제공됩니다. 해당 업소는 연간 총 수익이 최소 1,000불에서부터 최고 250만 불까지입니다. 그리고 늦어도 2019년 6월 1일부터 활발히 운영되고 있었던 비즈니스여야 합니다. 만약에 그 비즈니스가 6월 1일 그 이후로 시작한 비즈니스면 해당이 되지가 않고요. 그리고 활발하게 운영되고 있었던 비즈니스라는 얘기는요. 수익이 창출되고 있었음을 의미합니다. 오케이. Scott?
Yes, thank you. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the chart. So the chart is specific to see what type of grant and how much you qualify for. So if your gross revenue is between $1,000 and $100,000, you qualify for a $5,000 grant. If your income gross revenue is between $100,000 and $1 million, you qualify for a $15,000 grant. And if your revenue is between $1 million and $2.5 million, you qualify for a $25,000 grant. So this number on the left is determinant of your gross revenue. It's your most top line item on your taxes, which we'll go over where to find that per entity. This is not net income. This is the top number, not the bottom number, and we'll go over that. And we'll go over where to find that for your entity.
그리고요, 이제 지금 구호금의 지원 체계에 대해서요, 이 적격한 비즈니스에 대해서 총 수익이 얼마가 있어야지 얼마를 지원받을 수 있냐가 오른쪽 화면에 보시면 나와 있는데요. 슬라이드 5번에요. 지금 1,000불에서 10만 불까지를 버시는 비즈니스에 대해서는 5,000불 그 지원금이 가고요. 그리고 연간 총 수익이 10만 불 이상부터 100만 불까지는 15,000불의 지원금을 받을 수 있고 그리고 연간 총 수익이 100만 불이 넘는 숫자부터 250만 불까지는 25,000불이 구호금으로 될 수 있습니다. 그리고 가장 여기서는요 이 납세 보고서에 적어 놓으신 그 가장 높았던 그 수익을 얘기하는 겁니다. Go ahead, Scott.
All right, thank you very much. And then now we'll go to Mike.
Okay. So the definition of what constitutes a small business or a nonprofit. So small business means a sole prop independent contractor or a 1099, a C Corp, an S Corp, an LLC, an LLP. There's a lot of different distinctions that that classify as small business for the state of California for this grant. But really what it comes down to is if you filed your 2019 tax returns, you need to use those and go to your gross revenue, and we'll go exactly to what line that comes from. And you look at 2019 tax returns, as long as your gross revenue was at minimum $1,000 and no more than 2.5 million, you'll fit under the definition of a small business. The same could be said for a small nonprofit. You have to be a 501c3 or C6 and file a 990, and your minimum revenue or gross revenue needs to be no less than $1,000 and no more than 2.5 million. That's what the state has deemed the qualifier to fit into this grant process. So there we go. I'll let you translate, Julie. Sorry.
오케이. 그러면요, 이제는 여러분께요, 소기업과 소기업 비영리 단체에 대한 정의를 알려드리겠는데요. 이 소기업이라는 것은 연간 총수익이 가장 최근에 납세 보고서를 기준으로 연간 총수입이 1,000불에서 최고 250만 불까지인 개인 소유주나 독립된 계약자, 1099 근로자나 또는 등록된 영리 사업체입니다. 예를 들어서 C corporation이나 S corporation 아니면 유한 책임회사나 합자회사 등을 의미하는데요. 아까 말씀드린 가장 최근에 납세 보고서 나오는 거는요, 2018년이나 2019년도를 의미하고요. 그리고 소규모 비영리 단체는 소규의 의미는 가장 최근에 보고된 양식 990에 따라서 연간 총수익이 1,000불에서 250만 불까지의 수익을 가진 회사로서 500일 C3나 500일 C6 등 등록된 비영리 단체를 의미합니다. 비영리 단체 사업의 유형에는요, 법인, 유한 책임회사, 신탁 또는 비법인 단체가 포함됩니다. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, so eligibility requirements. So you must meet the definition of an eligible small business. So we're going to go over most of this. The active businesses or nonprofits operating since June 1st, 2019. That makes you one of the first ways to be eligible. You had to have started your business June 1st, 2019, and you have to have a minimum of $1,000 in annual revenue and a maximum of 2.5 million in annual revenue. So businesses must be impacted by COVID-19 health and safety restrictions such as business interruptions or business closures. Applicants will be required to certify eligibility, which we will go over the certification of eligibility and what that means. There's some questions about it. We'll go over that soon, including that the grant will be used for a specific applicant and such that applicant with the highest revenue. So if you have multiple locations or franchises or multiple business entities, you can only apply once. And you have to apply with the one that has the most revenue, the highest revenue. Businesses also must be able to provide organizational documents, which we'll go over, and have an acceptable form of government-issued ID, which we will also go over.
그리고 여러분들께요, 자격 요건에 대해서 알려드리겠습니다. 이 유자격 소기업이라는 단어의 정의를 충족시켜야 되는데요. 이 정의는요, 기타 정보에서 다들 참조가 되실 수 있고요. 그리고 아무리 늦어도 2019년 6월 1일부터 활발하게 운영되어 왔던 사업체나 또는 비영리 단체를 의미하고 있습니다. 그리고 이 사업체는 COVID-19 전염병으로 인해서 시행된 락다운으로 인해서 사업이 중단됐다든지 사업 폐쇄와 같은 일을 당한 업체라야 하고요. 그리고 이것을 입증할 수 있으셔야 합니다. 그리고 신청인은 자원금이 그 해당 사업체에 사용되며 그 해당 신청인의 사업 중 가장 높은 수익을 내고 있는 사업체이고 유자격 기업임을 증명해야 합니다. 예를 들어서 프랜차이즈를 갖고 계시거나 사업체가 하나 이상이라도 지원금을 여러 번 받을 수는 없습니다. 그중에서 가장 높은 수익을 내는 업소에 대해서만 단 한 번 신청이 가능합니다. 해당 기업은 비즈니스 등록 문서와 법적으로 인정되는 정부에서 발급한 사진이 있는 신분증을 제공할 수 있으셔야 합니다. Go ahead.
All right, so revenue verification, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, like where to find it. You saw the chart from 1,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to a million, and a million to 2.5. So where do you find that top line item on your taxes, depending on your entity? Hopefully you know what entity you are. If you're not sure, we can help you with this. But for 1120, which is a C Corp or an S Corp, line 1C will tell you your gross revenue. Line 3 for Schedule C's Schedule C is anybody that's a sole proprietor, independent contractor, a gigger, that's an Uber, a Lyft, a real estate agent. Most of those are on Schedule C's. Or single member LLCs are also considered Schedule C as well. So that's line 3. Line 1C for 1065 for partnerships. Line 1C and line 2 on Schedule F for a farming business. Line 12 on the form 990 for nonprofits. And then Schedule E is not eligible. So if you do have a Schedule E in your taxes, you're not allowed to take that gross revenue and add it to your other revenues and then count that. So Schedule E income is not eligible to count towards gross revenue to get to the matrix on the chart.
그리고 여기에 대해서 지금 왼쪽 자격 요건에 대해서 자격이 있는지 이렇게 수익을 갖다가 자기 자신이 그 수익이 얼마인지를 확인하시려면은요. 저희 집 납세 보고서에서 아까 저 읽어드렸죠. 뭐 저기 1,000불부터 뭐 10,000불 10만 불까지, 그리고 뭐 10만 불부터 100만 불까지, 그리고 100만 불 이상에서 250만 불까지 그렇게 써 있는데, 그 중에서 자기가 번 돈 중에서 한 기업에서 번 돈 중에서 가장 높았던 액수를 저기 적는 건데요. 그 IRS 세금 양식에 보고된 총 판매액 수익을 얘기하는 겁니다. 그래서 즉 리턴된 물건이나 환불액을 뺀 숫자인데요. 예를 들어드리겠는데요. 납세 보고서 양식에서 1120 또는 1120S 양식 라인 1C에 적힌 액수를 얘기하는 겁니다. 1120은 법인용이고 1120S는 Scorp용인데요. 그리고 단일 멤버 LLC나 단독 소유자일 경우에는 IRS 스케줄 C 라인 3에 적힌 액수를 얘기하는 거고요. 합자 회사일 경우에는 양식 1065의 라인 1C에 적힌 액수를 의미하고, 농기업일 경우에는 스케줄 F의 라인 1C와 라인 2에 적힌 라인 2에 적힌 액수를 의미합니다. 비영리 단체일 경우에는 양식 990의 라인 12에 적힌 액수인데요. 스케줄 2를 사용하셔서 세금을 보고하시는 해당 기업은 자격이 없습니다. Go ahead.
So I'm just going to quickly read through the left-hand side here. So if you're ineligible, if your business, it doesn't have a physical location in California, if you're a nonprofit not registered as a 501c3 or C6, if you're a government entity other than Native American tribe, if your business is primarily engaged in political or lobbying activities, any passive businesses or investment companies, churches and other religious institutions, financial businesses primarily engaged in the business of lending, and any affiliated companies.
그리고 또 자격이 없는 비즈니스들의 예를 들어드리겠는데요. 그 자격이 없는 비즈니스는 캘리포니아에 실제적으로 위치하고 있지 않은 비즈니스를 의미하고요. 501c3나 501c6로 등록되지 않은 비영리 기업을 또 의미하고, 정부기관 을 의미합니다. 정부기관도 여기 속하지 않습니다. 그 대신 미국 원주민 부족은 예외입니다. 또한 주로 정치나 로비 활동에 종사하는 기업, 또는 수동적인 기업, 투자회사나 교회, 종교기관 또는 대출 위주의 금융기관도 포함되지 않고요. 계열사 그도 포함되지 않습니다. 계열사 용어의 정의는요. 13CFR과 121.103 여기 가시면 찾을 수가 있습니다. Go ahead.
Okay. If your business is engaged in any activity that is illegal under federal, state, or local law, businesses of a prurient sexual nature, businesses engaged in any socially undesirable activity or activities that may be considered predatory, businesses that restrict patronage for any reason other than capacity and speculative businesses are all ineligible businesses under the grant guidelines.
그리고 또 자격이 없는 그 비즈니스에 속하는 업체들은 연방, 주정부 또는 지방법에 위반되는 범죄 행위를 하는 기업이라든지 유흥업체, 약탈적이라고 간주될 수 있는 사회적으로 바람직하지 않은 행위나 활동에 관여하는 기업, 또한 정원 초과라는 이유 외에 다른 이유로 고객을 거부하는 비즈니스, 또 투기성 사업, 그리고 또 회사 지분의 10% 이상을 가진 소유주가 지난 3년 이내에 형사사건으로 유죄 판결을 받았거나 민사소송에서 패소했거나 가석방 또는 보호관찰이 시작된 사업체를 의미합니다. Go ahead.
All right, so proper uses of funds. So we're going to go over eligible on the left, then we'll go over ineligible. So eligible uses of funds, only those costs incurred due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the health and safety restrictions, such as business interruptions or business closures incurred as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, so all employee expenses, including payroll costs, healthcare benefits, paid sick, medical or family leave, and insurance premiums, any working capital such as including rent, utilities, mortgage, principal, and interest payments, excluding mortgage prepayments, debt payments, principal, and interest incurred after March 1st, 2020, costs associated with reopening business operations after being fully or partially closed due to the pandemic, costs associated with complying with the COVID-19 federal, state, or local guidelines for reopening, requiring safety protocols, including but not limited to the equipment and PPE supplies, any other COVID-19 related expenses not already covered for the same period through grants, forgivable loans, or other relief through federal, state, county, or city programs.
그리고 여기서 또 보조금을 적절하게 사용하는 방법은 어떤 것이 적절한 사용인지를 갖다가 알려드리겠는데요. 적격한 자금 사용에는 코비드-19 락다운의 결과로 인해서 사업이 중단되거나 사업 폐쇄로 인해 발생한 비용 충당에만 허용되는 겁니다. 예를 들어서 급여 비용이나 의료 혜택, 유급병가, 건강상 또는 육아 간호를 위한 휴직 또는 보험료 등등 직원에게 드는 비용을 의미하고 2020년 3월 1일 이후 발생한 운영자본이나 간접비, 그 중에는 임대료, 공과금, 모기지 원금, 몰게지 이자 지급, 그리고 또 몰게지 선불금은 여기서 제외됩니다. 2020년 3월 1일 이후 발생한 원금과 이자를 갚는 데 사용할 수 있는 것, 또한 주에서 규정한 코비드-19 락다운으로 인해서 완전히나 또는 부분적으로 문 닫은 사업을 다시 여는 데 필요한 비용, 장비나 플렉시글라스 보호막이나 야외 다이닝용 장비나 개인 보호용 장비나 테스트 또는 직원 교육 비용 등등 코비드-19 방지를 위해서 연방, 주정부 또는 로컬 정부의 지침의 요구사항을 준수하는 데 사용되는 비용, 연방, 주, 카운티 또는 도시 프로그램을 통해 동일 기간 동안 수령한 지원금이나 상환 감면 대출금 또는 구호금으로 커버되지 않았던 기타 코비드-19 관련 비용 등을 의미합니다. Go ahead.
All right, so ineligible uses of funds, so human resource expenses for state share of Medicaid, employee bonuses or severance pay, any taxes or legal settlements, any personal expenses or other expenses unrelated to the COVID-19 impacts, expenses for repairs and damages that were already covered by insurance, and then any reimbursements to donors for donated items or services.
그리고 다음에는요, 부적격한 자금 사용에 대해서 알려지겠는데요. 부적격한 사용은 주정부에서 지불하는 메디케이드와 관련된 인적 자원 경비, 직원 상여금 또는 퇴직금, 세금, 법적 합의금, 코비드-19 영향과 관련 없는 개인 경비 또는 기타 비용, 이미 보험을 통해 지불된 수리비나 피해 보상금, 아니면 또 기증된 물품이나 서비스에 대해 기증자에게 환급한 금액 등을 얘기합니다. Go ahead.
So now we're going to go into the application so you guys can see that. Scott, you want to pull yours up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me get to that. Second. This is it. Yes. All right. All right. So this is the application. So there's 6 sections to the application. Again, you can still apply today, but you cannot upload any documents as of today. Hopefully that will be updated tomorrow. But you can apply from now till January 8th. You can use any link and any county, so any partner and any county. So when we'll go over this. When you go to the website, CaliforniaReliefGrant.com, you can choose county and then any partner. We are the SBDC Small Business Development Center, so you can choose us if you wish to. Here's our link.
예, 그리고 이제는요, 여러분들께서 지금 화면에 보고 계시는 거는요, 이게 지금 현재 신청서인데요. 이 신청서는요, 6개의 섹션으로 나와 있습니다. 그리고 이 신청을 오늘 하실 수 있어요. 그렇지만은 문제는 저희들이 기술상의 문제로 인해서 지금 현재 업로드가 가능하지가 않습니다. 그래서 여러분께서는요, 이 웹사이트를 갖다가 어떤 카운티든지 무관하게 카운티의 웹사이트, 자기네가 원하시는 카운티를 갖다 설정하셔서 또 같이 지원을 받을 수 있는 그 기관을 거기다 설정하시면 되는데요. 저희를 선택하셔도 됩니다. 저희가 SPDC 저기 센터를요. 그리고 다음으로 넘어가겠습니다. Go ahead.
All right. So when you click on any website with any partner or county, you will get into this first page, and this first page says. So if you have not applied yet, you will click Find Grants Now. If you have not applied yet, you will click Find Grants Now. You do not need to sign in if it's your first time. Currently, you're not able to even sign in if you've already applied. If you have applied, this is where you would sign in, but currently you're not able to sign in and make any changes. If it's your first time applying, you will not sign in. You will go to where these green arrows show to Find Grants Now, and that's how you will get into the application.
그리고요, 이 지금 페이지 두 번째 페이지를 보고 계신데요. 이 두 번째 페이지를 처음 접하신 분들은요, 여기서 Find Grant Now라는 그 단어가 써 있습니다. 여기 보라색 글씨로 왼쪽 화면의 중간 정도에 있고요. 그 초록색 화살표가 이렇게 가리켜져 있거든요. 거기를 클릭하셔야 합니다. 일단 여기를 들어오시기 전에는요, 원하시는 어떤 그 카운티를 갖다가 클릭하셨을 거예요. 그래서 처음 들어오시는 분은 Find Grant Now를 먼저 클릭하셔야 되고, 일단 오늘이 처음이 아니신 분은요, 실제적으로 지금 사인인이 불가능합니다. 오늘은 지금 사인인이 불가능하다는 거 아셔주세요. 그래서 만약에 그 신청서에서 잘못된 정보를 고치고 싶다고 하시더라도 오늘은 그게 가능하지가 않습니다. Go ahead.
All right, so when you click on Find Grants Now, it'll go to this site. This site will have two boxes. As you can see on the left, it will say grant programs for profits, and there's another apply now that will also say grant program for nonprofits. Please choose the right one. If you choose the wrong one, it's okay. Don't panic. We are going to be able to, Lendistry is going to allow you to go back and change that and update it. But this is where you would click here, you would apply now. And there's some information on the right, which you can see what types of information that you might have to download and submit depending on your entity, whether it's articles of incorporation, fictitious name statement, your government issued business license, and then also the verification of your revenue and certifying your business. This is all on the page to apply, but this is just kind of shows you what you may need to download after you submit your application.
그리고 이제 세 번째 페이지를 보시면은요, 여러분들께서 왼쪽으로 보시면은 나와 있는 게 뭐냐면요, Grant Program for Profit이라고 써 있는데요. 이거는요, 영리 단체를 위한 지원금 프로그램을 원하시는 분은 여기 Apply Now라고 하고 빨간 화살표가 있는 곳을 갖다가 클릭하시면 되는데요. 비영리 단체를 위해서도 다른 화면이 또 있습니다. 그래서 그거를 둘 중에서 잘 정확하게 아셔가지고 클릭해 주셔야 돼요. 일단 클릭을 하셨다고 하더라도 나중에 돌아가서 업데이트를 할 수 있도록 그렇게 하고 있습니다. 하실 수 있고요. 근데 이 오른쪽에 보시면은요, 이제 자기가 해당되는 그 업종에 따라서 그 기업이 어떤 기업인가에 따라서 필요한 그 서류들이 이렇게 쭉 나와 있습니다. 그래서 그걸 나중에 다운로드를 해주셔서 다운로드 한 다음에 그 요구되는 서류들을 갖다가 제출해 주셔야 하는 겁니다. Go ahead.
All right, so this is the first of the 6 sections that are in the application. So again, this is the first stage of you applying. After you get through these first 6 sections, then you'll receive an email from Lendistry that will allow you to upload your documents, which should be updated by tomorrow. So the first section is really basic, just your first and last name, your email, confirm your email, your cell phone, confirm your cell phone, your business name, and then your zip code. And then we recommend that you click that you accept SMS text policy because Lendistry will be able to send push notifications and updates on your cell phone for text messages.
그리고요, 이제 지금에 보시는 4번째 페이지는요, 실제적으로 이 신청서의 가장 처음 시작하는 페이지예요. 저 아까 말씀드렸죠? 이 신청서가 6개의 섹션으로 이렇게 나누어져 있다고. 이 페이지를 보시면은요, 이름, 성함을 쓰게 돼 있고, 이메일 주소를 쓰고, 그리고 본인의 그 핸드폰 전화번호를 기입하고 사업명을 적고 그리고 집 코드를 사용하고 쓰게 되어 있습니다. 그리고 밑에 보시면은요. 여기서 SMX나 텍스트 팔레시를 갖다가 내가 수락한다는 걸 갖다가 허락하시도록 이렇게 거기다 표기를 하게 돼 있어요. 거기를 표기를 해 주세요. 그래서 업데이트를 저희가 텍스트로 갖다가 보내드릴 수 있도록요. Go ahead.
All right, so the next section is the owner details. So we get a lot of questions about the owner details for nonprofits. This example that we're going through is actually for profit, but the nonprofit application is very similar. So for owner details for a nonprofit, it would just be the executive director or the board chair. Obviously, there is no owner for the nonprofit because nobody owns the nonprofit, but that's who it would be.
그리고 여기서 지금 보시는 5번째 페이지는요. 여기는 그 소유주에 관한 구체적인 내용을 적게 되어 있는데요. 지금 보고 계신 거는 영리단체를 위한 겁니다. 근데 비영리단체에 대한 그 페이지도요. 사실 굉장히 흡사합니다. 한 가지 다른 거는요. 영리단체에는 그 소유주의 이름을 적게 되어 있지만은 비영리단체에는 소유주가 없습니다. 그랬기 때문에 그 executive director, 그러니까 회의 이사의 이름을 적도록 그렇게 되어 있습니다. 근데 그렇게 그게 거의 비슷하다는 걸 알아주시고요. Go ahead.
So for the owner details, you put your first and last name. Some of this will transfer over, like your email and your cell phone. The owner address. So this is where you live as a person, not your business address, unless it's the same thing. Home-based businesses do qualify for this grant. So if your address as the owner is where you live in your business, that's fine. But this is where your personal residence address goes. You're not able to put a PO box. So no PO box. It will not be qualified or accepted. Your owner's city, state, zip code, county, the date of birth of you as a person, your social security number. And if you want to know why they asked for a social security number, we do not have the answer for that because credit is not one of the bases as far as getting approved or declined. So we do not have an answer for the social. If you do not wish to put your social, then unfortunately you will not be able to apply for this grant. And then your ownership percentage. So if you are a nonprofit, your ownership percentage will be 0 because you don't own it. But as an individual, what percentage are you? 33%, 100%, 80%? They like to know that and then accept the terms and conditions.
그리고 여기 보시면 구체적으로 한번 이렇게 설명드리면요. 여기 실제적으로 여기 소유주의 이메일이라든지 전화번호 그리고 여기 주소를 적도록 나와 있습니다. 어떤 분들은 자기 가정집에서 비즈니스도 하시는 분들이 있어요. 그렇다고 하더라도 그 집 주소를 갖다가 여기다 적어 주셔야 되는 거예요. 그래서 여기서 얘기하는 거는 본인께서 거주하고 계시는 그 집 주소를 갖다가 적도록 한 거고요. 그리고 여러분들의 이제 뭐 주라든지 저기 그 집 코드라든지 돼 있고 그리고 생년월일을 갖다가 기입하셔야 되고 소셜 번호를 여기서 묻는데요. 실제적으로 저희들은요. 왜 소셜 번호를 여기다가 소셜 번호가 요구되는지는 잘 모르겠어요. 그런데 그럼에도 불구하고 여러분께서 만약에 소셜 번호를 여기다가 알려주기 원치 않으시는 분들은요. 실제적으로 소셜 번호를 적지 않으시면 이게 접수가 될 수가 없습니다. 그래서 소셜 번호가 꼭 필요하고요. 그리고 여기 제일 마지막에는요. 여기 지분의 퍼센티지를 적도록 나와 있습니다. 물론 이 비영리 단체일 경우에는 지분이 없으니까 0으로 쓰면 되지만은 영리 단체일 경우에는 자기가 갖고 계신 그 회사에 대한 지분을 써주시면 되고 그리고 다 쓰시고 난 다음에는 이 밑에 노란색 그 상자에다가 표기를 해주십시오. 여기 나온 그 조건에 내가 동의한다는 수락한다는 의미로. Go ahead.
All right, so the next section is your business information. So your business name. If you do not have a DBA, that's okay. Just you have to put none. So if no DBA, you have to type in none. If you don't, it won't allow you to go forward. Your business EIN. So for those of you that have business EINs, you know who you are. If you do not have an EIN, then it is your social security number. So business EIN, go ahead and put that there. Your business phone number, your business type. There's about 7 business types to choose from. If you're not sure which one you are, we can help you. There's been some questions about what a regular C Corp is and a professional corporation, the differences between the two. So it depends on who you are and what kind of business you run. We can help you with that. But there's choices for partnerships, C Corp, S Corp. There's choices for sole proprietor without employees or with employees. The state of your business, the business address. Again, it can be your home address if that's what you have. Say you had a retail shop, but now it's your home address. That's okay. It can be home-based business or qualified or eligible. Just no PO box. You can't put a PO box again. So city, state, county, zip. The date the business is established. So if you're not sure when you started your business, you can look at the top right of most of your taxes, and it'll show you the date there that the business is established. If you bought a business, it's not the day you bought it. It's the day the business was established. So if you bought a 10-year-old business this year, it's the date that the business started before you bought it. And then your business website as well, if you have one. If you don't, that's fine. Just type none.com. It doesn't hinder your ability to get approved if you don't have a website.
그리고 지금 보고 계시는 거는요, 페이지 6페이지인데요. 여기서는요, 이제 본인의 사업, 그러니까 기업, 회사에 대해서 여기를 갖다가 구체적인 정보를 쓰시는 건데요. 그 사업명, 만약에 DBA가 없으신 분은요, 여기 오른쪽에 지금 보기를 보시면 알겠지만은 NON이 없다고 none이라고 이렇게 적으셨어요. 근데 꼭 없는 분은 none이라고 적어야지만 이게 접수가 가능합니다. 그리고 밑에 내려오면은 비즈니스 주소를 적으셔야 하는데요. 갖고 계신 그 비즈니스 주소를 적으시고, 어떤 분은 자기 가정집에서 비즈니스를 하시는 분들이 있어요. 그럴 경우에는 자기 집 주소를 적으시면 됩니다. 그리고 그 밑에 나오면은 그 비즈니스 타입, 그러니까 업종을 얘기하는 건데요. 지금 저희가 가지고 있는 설정할 수 있는 초이스에는요, 7가지의 비즈니스 업종이 있습니다. 본인의 비즈니스가 어떤 업종에 포함되는지가 잘 모르시겠는 분은요, 저희에게 여쭤보시면은, 문의하시면 저희가 기꺼이 알려드리겠습니다. 그리고 어떤 분들은 예를 들어가지고 어떤 분들은 C 콜프라든지 보통 콜프라든지 거기에 대해서 차이점을 잘 모르시는 분들도 있고 여러 가지 비즈니스가 있기 때문에요. 그러니까 궁금하시면은 저희에게 알려주시면은 저희가 답변해 드리겠습니다. 그리고 나서 뭐 도시와 스테이트, 카운티, 집 코드를 쓰게 돼 있고, 그리고 여기 제일 마지막 칸에 왼쪽에 보시면은 비즈니스가 설립됐던 날짜를 적도록 돼 있습니다. 이 비즈니스가 설립됐던 날짜는요, 이 비즈니스를 본인께서 구입하신 그 날짜와는 다릅니다. 이 비즈니스가 이 날짜를 잘 모르시겠는 분은요, 대부분의 이렇게 납세보고서의 오른쪽 위에 보시면은 그 날짜가 적혀 있는데요. 등록된 날짜를 얘기하는 겁니다. 설립 날짜. 그리고 오른쪽에 비즈니스 웹사이트를 적도록 되어 있는데요. 비즈니스 웹사이트가 없으신 분은 그냥 none으로 NON이라고 써주시면 무관합니다. Go ahead.
All right, so the next section is how we can help you, or how can we help you. So the purpose of the grant, I think there's only like one option that you can put down there. You can only choose one option, regardless if there's multiple options that may pertain to you and your need. Just go ahead and choose one. The amount requested, this is dependent on your gross revenue line item that we went over, depending on your like where to find it on your entity. But if it's when you click check eligibility, that chart will come up from 1,000 to 100, 100,000 to $1 million, and $1 million to 2.5. You choose what pertains to you based on your annual revenue. It also asks for you to put your annual revenue there, kind of like a quick check system. So we get a lot of questions around what does this whole thing mean around creating new jobs, full-time, part-time. So if you if you know you're going to get this, if you got this grant, if you're planning to get the grant and you get the grant, will you hire people? Will you hire employees? So that's what jobs created means. You're going to create a job from this money. Jobs retained is if you have 2 employees, you get this grant and you're able to keep them. That's jobs retained, meaning you keep your employees because you got the grant. Number of full-time employees and number of part-time employees are your current employees that you have on the books that are W-2 employees. No 1099 contractors count. 1099 contractors, if you add them, they do not count as employees. They're not jobs created. They're not jobs retained. Only W-2 employees for your full-time and your part-time currently. That's what this means. So are you going to create jobs? Well, they want to know first how many full-time and part-time employees you have, and then are you going to create any new part-time or full-time, and then are you going to retain any thanks to the grant?
그리고 이제는요, 7페이지를 보시겠는데요. 우리가 어떻게 도움을 줄 수 있냐는 그러한 페이지인데요. 이 기본적인 위에 제일 왼쪽에 써 있는 거는. 근데 여기서 purpose of grant, 그러니까 이 지원금을 필요한 그 목적에 대해서 나와 있는데요. 사실 목적이 여러 가지실 수 있으세요. 그렇지만은요, 여기 이렇게 리스트를 갖다가 딱 클릭을 해보시면 여러 가지 중에서 단 한 가지를 갖다가 선택하셔야 됩니다. 이유는 여러 가지 있을 수 있다고 하더라도 선택하실 수 있는 사항은 하나입니다. 그렇게 선택을 해주시고, 그리고 여기 오른쪽에 보시면은 요구되는 액수, amount request라는 거는 요구하시는 액수를 의미하는데요. 그 액수는 아무거나 적을 수 있는 게 아니라 아까 처음에 말씀드렸죠. 1000불부터 100만 불까지 하고, 그리고 100만 불 이상부터 1000불부터 10만 불까지, 그리고 10만 불 이상부터 100만 불까지, 그리고 100만 불 이상부터 250만 불까지의 받을 수 있는 지원금이 있지 않았습니까? 그래서 자기가 자기 기업에서 수익에 따라서 거기에 해당되는 액수를 여기다 적어주시면 되는 거고요. 그리고 여기서 또 밑에 내려오시면은 full-time employees 하고, 오른쪽에 보시면 part-time employees, 그러니까 풀타임 직원과 팔타임 직원을 갖다가 쓰도록 되어 있는데요. 이 난들은 지금 현재 가지고 이 기존 데리고 계셨던 풀타임 직원은 몇 명이었으며 팔타임 직원은 몇 명이었는지를 갖다가 쓰시는 됩니다. 그리고 제일 밑에 줄에는요, 여기 창출된 그 직업을 의미하는 거예요. 왼쪽 제일 밑에 가는요. 그리고 오른쪽에는 유지된 직업, 그러니까 직원들을 의미하는 겁니다. 그래서 그 의미는 뭐냐면요, 이 지원금을 받으셔가지고 만약에 직원을 갖다가 더 고용하실 그러한 계획이 있으시다면은 여기 number of jobs created, 몇 명의 직원이 창출되었느냐에 대해서 그 숫자를 써주시면 되는 거고요. 그리고 그 지원금을 받으셔가지고 원래 기존 그 직원들을 갖다가 유지할 수 있었다라는 걸 갖다가 쓰시려면은 number of jobs retained라고 그러는 제일 오른쪽 밑에 칸에다가 몇 명의 직원을 이 지원금을 통해서 유지할 수 있었는지를 갖다가 적어주시면 됩니다. Go ahead.
All right, so the fifth section of 6 sections is the business demographics. Who is your customer base? So this is a little confusing for some people applying. So B2B means business to business. So you only sell to other businesses. You sell to states, cities, counties, chambers, or other types of organizations, but it's business to business. B2C is like a restaurant or retail store or chocolate store. So business to consumer means you sell to individuals like all of us on this phone. B2B means you sell to companies or cities or counties. And if you do a little bit of both, then that's fine. You could do both. But that's the biggest description about that explanation.
그리고 여기서는요, 이제 비즈니스 데모그래픽, 그러니까 고객 유형들에 대해서 이렇게 알려드리는데요. 지금 본인의 고객들이 기본적으로 어떠한 유형의 고객입니까? 그러면 제일 왼쪽에는요, B2B라는 거는요, 그러니까 실제적으로 비즈니스와 비즈니스끼리 거래를 하는 그런 비즈니스인지, 아니면 B2C라는 거는 이제 본인께서 비즈니스로서 소비자를 상대로 하는 비즈니스인지, 아니면은 그 둘을 갖다가 겸해서 함께 하고 계시는지 그걸 의미합니다. Go ahead.
All right, so then they want to know what type of business you are. So if you can't find the exact one, you could choose something similar. There might be a subcategory of what you're looking for. So if you submit like entertainment, some food businesses are under entertainment. So depending on your type of business, just try to find something that's as close as you can. So what does your business do? They just want to know roughly what you do with your business, and then tell us a little bit more, kind of like a text box to fill it in to talk more about your business so they can understand the industry and who you sell to. The NAICS code, which is the NAICS code. If you're not sure what your NAICS code is, for some corporation, it's on your taxes on your top right. You'll see this little code there. If you're not sure what you are or what kind of code you have for your industry, there's a button that you can click. It'll take you to the NAICS code website, and you can choose something as similar to excuse me, as similar as you can find to your industry or your sector or what type of business you are. It doesn't have to be exact, it just kind of has to be close. They're going to ask you if you're a women-owned business, and if you're not sure, usually 51% or more women-owned business. That's the designation for that. But if you're not sure, we can help you. Veteran-owned, you know who you're. If you're a veteran, if you're a disabled business owner or a veteran disabled business owner, your race, ethnicity, are you part of a franchise, and are you in a rural community? So a rural community, if you think you're in a rural community, you probably are. If you're not sure, then you probably aren't. But a rural community is usually a city that has less than 50,000 people in population. That's kind of sort of what it is. If you're on the fence, and you're not sure what to choose, we can help you, but just do your best guess if you're in a rural community. There's no specific designation if you are in a rural community or not.
그리고 이제는요, 여기서 또 what type of business is it이라는 그 조항이 있는데요. 이거 B2B, B2C 뭐 그 밑에 보시면은요, 그거는 본인께서 갖고 계신 그 비즈니스가 어떤 종류의 업체인지를 물어보는 겁니다. 그 이렇게 클릭하시면은요, 여러 가지의 그 초이스가 있는데 실제적으로 자기한테 완전히 맞고 정확하지는 않더라도 가장 비슷한 유형의 비즈니스를 갖다가 거기다가 써주시면 되는 거고요. 그리고 그 오른쪽에 제일 첫 번째 윗줄을 보시면은 what does your business do라는 게 있습니다. 그 본인의 사업에서 어떤 사업체이냐를 갖다가 물어보는 건데요. 거기서는 예를 들어서 자기 비즈니스에 대해서 어떤 비즈니스라는 걸 갖다가 설명을 하면 되는 겁니다. 뭐 식당이면 식당, 아니면은 어떤 고객을 상대로 무슨 일을 한다, 그렇게 써주시면 되는 거고요. 그리고 밑에 왼쪽에서 두 번째 칸으로 내려오시면은 NAICS 코드, 이 비밀번호를 갖다가 적도록 나와 있는데요. 이 NAICS 코드가 뭔지를 잘 모르시는 분은 대개 세금 보고서 오른쪽 위에를 보시면은 그 번호가 나와 있습니다. 그렇지만은 그거를 갖다가 모르실 때는요, 이 NAICS를 갖다가 웹사이트 같은 데를 웹사이트에서 치셔서 뭐를 하는지를 갖다가 보시면 돼요. 근데 예를 드리면은 여기서는 뭐냐면은 만약에 뭐 여성 소유의 비즈니스인지, 뭐 제한군인이 하는 비즈니스인지, 아니면 장애자 소유주의 비즈니스인지, 프랜차이즈인지, 아니면 시골에 있는 비즈니스인지, 뭐 되게 이렇게 미국에서는 이 시골에 있는 거, 그러니까 주변 변두리에 있는 비즈니스를 의미하는데, 변두리에 있는 비즈니스는 대개 시민이 5만 명 미만인 그런 도시를 얘기합니다. 그래서 뭐 그런 식으로 나와 있어요. 그리고 그런 비즈니스들이 갖고 있는 독특한 코드들이 있는데 그걸 의미하는 겁니다. Go ahead.
All right, so the last section of the application, again, this part of the application, you will not be uploading anything. It's just filling out these 6 sections to the best of your ability. If you make a mistake, it's okay. You will be able to go back and change it. At this time, you're not able to go change it. We do apologize for that, but come next week, come Monday, Tuesday, you will be able to go back and change it. So the business disclosures, is your business 51% minority or veteran owned? Minority is person of color owned. Small business means the following racial or ethnic groups, which is one of these here. Number 2, what was your gross revenue for your business for April 1st, 2019 to September 30th, 2019? So if you look at that, that is your quarter 2 and quarter 3 of 2019. If you file for a calendar year, if you go from January to December, April 1st through September 30th of 2019 is quarter 2 to quarter 3. And then they also want to know, what they're doing is they're doing a quarter 2, quarter 3, year by year comparison from 2019 to 2020. So they're asking you for the same time frame again, April through June of 2020 and July through September of 2020. If you have trouble finding those numbers, we can help you. Is your business currently in need of business advising or technical assistance? So if so, whether it's through this application or for future to keep you in business or grow, there's other technical assistance providers that can help you, like SBDC. Is your business currently in the need of a business loan? So outside of this grant, you need other money to grow or to expand or possibly just stay in business. And then 6, during the last 9 months, has your business received any COVID-19 related? It says emergency grants. What it should say is emergency funding. So meaning grants, loans, obviously PPP and EIDL are not fully grants. There are some sort of way to pay them back. So it should say, has your business received any COVID-19 related emergency funding? So they want you to choose all that apply, PPP, EIDL, city, grant, county, stuff like that.
그리고 지금 여기서요, 이렇게 공개해야 되는 내용에 대해서 이렇게 나와 있는데, 지금 페이지 9를 보고 계십니다. 여기서는 본인께서 갖고 계신 비즈니스가 51%가, 최소한 51%가, 저기 소수민족이라든지 아니면 제한군인이 소유하고 있는가. 그래서 이 소수민족이라든지 아니면은 유색인종이 소유하고 있는 비즈니스라는 것은 예를 들어서 미국 아프리칸 아메리칸이나 아니면 아시안이라든지 미국 원주민이라든지 알래스카 원주민이라든지 하와이안 원주민이라든지 아니면 태평양 아일랜드에서 오신 분들 아니면 라틴 아메리카 이런 분들을 갖다가 등등 의미하고 있는데요. 그리고 두 번째에서는 본인께서 그래서 이렇게 한국 분이시면은 여기서는 네라고 이렇게 적으시면 되는 거죠. yes라고. 그리고서 두 번째에서는 2019년도 4월 1일부터 2019년도 9월 31일까지의 총 수익이 얼마냐를 갖다가 적으셔야 되는 겁니다. 그리고 3번에서는 또 똑같은 시기예요. 그렇지만 연도만 다릅니다. 이 다음 거는요. 2020년도 4월 1일부터 2020년도 9월 30일까지의 총 수익을 적는 건데요. 이 똑같은 게 2분기에서 1년에서 2분기에서 3분기로 넘어가는 그 기간들에 대한 건데요. 이 두 개를 비교해 보기 위해서 이렇게 적도록 하시는 거고요. 그리고 지금 현재 4번으로 가시면은 이 비즈니스에서 지금 그 지원금뿐만 아니라 어떠한 전문가의 조언이라든지 또 다른 기술적인 지원이 필요하냐에 대해서 여쭤봤습니다. 혹시 필요하신 분은 여기다 적으시면 돼요. 그러면 SBDC처럼 저희 같은 센터에서 여러분들께 그런 면에 대해서 지원을 해드릴 수가 있고요. 그리고 5번으로 가시면은 지금 현재 본인의 기업에서 사업에서 이렇게 사업을 하기 위한 융자가 더 필요한가 하는 거에 대해서 질문인데요. 거기서 필요하시면 거기다 또 써주시면 되는 겁니다. 그리고 6번으로 가시면요. 지난 9개월간 본인의 비즈니스가 코비드-19과 관련해서 긴급 그 지원금을 받은 적이 있냐고 이렇게 쓰는데요. 여기서 얘기하는 그 지원금이라는 거는요. 실질적으로 PPP나 IOD는 뭐 그런 것들을 다 포함한 여러분들께서 받은 구호금이라든지 그 지원금을 갖다가 의미하고 있는 겁니다. 그래서 그런 게 있으면 써주시면 되겠습니다. Go ahead.
Okay. So Scott, if you can allow me to share my screen. I'm going to try to get through some of the questions that I see you guys asking. And I can't guarantee we'll get to all of them, but I'm going to do my best. So let me start with this. So this is the website. And so when you get on, some of you have already applied. Oh, you can't see anything? Perfect.
Not yet.
All right. I apologize. Can you see it now?
We can, yep.
Okay. Apologize for that. So this is the homepage for the CA Relief Grant through Lendistry. And so you have to apply through a partner. Now, we are a partner in this, as are many organizations. There's nothing that determines why you would choose one or the other. You can choose whichever county you want. You can choose whichever partner you want. There's nothing that's going to affect your application. In fact, once you click on apply here, it goes directly into the Lendistry portal. What Lendistry and the state are looking for is if anybody helped you through this, to click that. If you're, hopefully you're going to go through a county that your business is in or that you live in. I know for some people, you live in a county, you work, and your business is in a different county. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. There's no wrong answer here. So if you happen to, let's say you chose by county, let's say you happen to live and work, your business is in Orange County, but you chose Amador County for some reason. Once you go onto any one of these organizations and click on apply now, it doesn't matter, right? You're perfectly fine. You could choose any county, any partner. Really, it's just so that you're aware that these organizations are out there and they exist. And, they're trying to push people to some of these sites so that in case you need help, they will help you. Some are very specific in language. For all the nonprofits, Cal Nonprofits is a great resource, and we will post, I know they've done some webinars trying to help people through the application, which doesn't always make perfect sense because it doesn't align with a nonprofit. There's a lot of questions around business ownership and business in general. So we're going to do our best. Nonprofits are not our world, but we've found out enough information to try to help you through some of the questions. But once you go into this site, that's where it starts, right? So I just tried to go into our SPDC site, and it even looks like that part is down at this moment. Again, this site has nothing to do with us. You know, we're just trying to push people to it and get you through the application to the best of our ability. But when the technology doesn't work, it's a little outside of our control. But if I go through somebody else, which I did, I went through a different partner. And again, it doesn't matter which partner you choose. You fill out that first portion of it, and it opens up the rest of this. I did see a question, and I think I've answered it already, but I want to just answer this for everybody. I went down to business type and chose partnership, and it still made me select state of incorporation. I know that a partnership doesn't have a state of incorporation, so obviously it's a flaw in the application itself. Just put California. It's not going to hurt you to do that, but it won't let you move forward without it. We will bring this up to Lendistry as well, something I hadn't seen prior, but it's asking you, no matter which business type you choose, to also put the state of incorporation. Again, if you answer some of these incorrectly, from what we've been told, you're going to have the ability to go back in and make changes. When that happens, we don't know. Hopefully, you know, it's tomorrow. And Lendistry will send you out a direct email. I know that one went out yesterday at 5:18 in the morning and said that you can now fix this, and you still couldn't. So I know that's completely frustrating and doesn't make any sense. But, you know, that's what we're trying to help you with, and also trying to let Lendistry know, you know, that there are some issues here. So the hope is that they're fixing it over this weekend, and that you'll be able to go in and make changes. Now, we know currently that the end of this first round of grant programs ends at 11:59 on Friday. So that still gives us time to put everything in, but not as much time as had we been able to do this last Wednesday. So I know it's frustrating to do this. My guess is that they're trying to work through this now as to why our site doesn't work on this. So, you know, I'm not sure how successful you're going to be. Now, we also know that the minute you fill in on this first page your name and email address, it is saved, right? So they know exactly where you left off. You will have the ability to go back in and make changes from what we're told. When that happens, I don't know when that is, but you will have that ability to go do that. You know, so that's a little bit about the application itself. And once you fill in this first part, the whole thing opens up and drops down. And so it memorizes line by line as you fill this out. There's also some questions, you know, around B2B and B2C. I know that for some people is a little confusing as to business to business or business to consumer, or both. You know, I know I saw somebody that said they had a school and you know, it's children. You know, I would put business to consumer for that. But again, right, there's no perfect answer for some of these things. A lot of businesses sell to both. And again, whatever you put here is not going to limit you as far as, you know, the ability to move forward. And I'll walk you through the guidelines of the 4 or 5 categories that they're doing to validate and use the scorecard for you. You know, I know that this gross revenue for 2019 and 2020 is a little odd. It's quarter 2 and quarter 3. And I realize that a lot of people have not done their taxes for April 1st, 2020 through September 30th. You may not even have P&Ls to work with. Do your best to answer it to the best of your ability. There's no wrong answer, you know, if you're trying your best to put in the right answer. We realize, don't go do your taxes, you know, don't pay extra to get it done sooner. That won't help you in this, you know, whether you get it or you don't. Just put in the best answer that you know based on what you think you did in gross sales. Again, it's gross sales, gross revenue. It's not minus all of the expenses. Let me go into, did my screen switch?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is the self-certification that everybody has to fill out. So this is the nonprofit one, and I'll pop these both in the chat box in just a second. You do have to fill this out. You know, you can put your initials here. You know, so it says please initial. You can put a checkbox, you know, whatever you end up putting. It's asking for the initials. And then at the very bottom of it, you're going to put in your name, your name. You're going to sign it. Now, what I don't want you to do is print this out, sign it, scan it, re-upload it. You know, if you just type your name here, oops, sorry, just move back up. Would have helped if I would have pushed the box, sorry. I am very technologically challenged here in a lot of areas, so bear with me. Put your name here, your full name, and then do the same thing here. That's perfectly fine as well. So that way you can save it on your desktop and then just re-upload it. Don't feel that you have to, you know, download it, sign it with a wet signature and then rescan it. I wouldn't spend the time to do that. They'll come back to you if they need another signature, but from what we've been told, that's acceptable. The other part, I know that a lot of you did your bank account information already. If you hadn't done your bank account information, We've been told that you do not need to do that. So my suggestion is don't do that. Don't put in your bank account information until you've been awarded the grant. There's no need to give them all that information. This is the nonprofit side. You're going to see that, you know, unfortunately, the nonprofit and the for-profit look exactly the same. So I realize that there's nuance to nonprofit that doesn't make a lot of sense in this. Answer it to the best of your ability. Answer these questions to the best of your ability. And, you know, most likely those things will not hurt you. You know, whether you put four full-time employees, but you only had 3, you know, whatever you happen to put, do it to the best of your ability. And, you know, you have a rationale for why you're doing it. Most of these will not eliminate you from receiving this grant anyways, right? You'll have the chance to come back. I realize a lot of these questions are very vague. Doesn't tell you the time frame. It doesn't tell you when. Some of the questions we've seen, you know, if you receive this grant funding, do you need to submit receipts? No, you don't. For now, all they're asking is that you hold on to the receipts and that you save them for 3 years. Now, how long do you have to spend the money? We don't have an answer for that either. But my guess here is that from March 1st, 2020 to today, you probably already spent it, right? You paid rent, you paid payroll, paid operating expenses. You've already paid it, right? So now it's just collecting those receipts so that you can hold on to those and say, this is what I spent the $5,000 on. This is what I spent the $15,000 on, whatever it might happen to be. There are just a lot of issues right now with the site. We've given them a lot of information. We were on the phone with them last night as well. We're hopeful that they're able to correct the problems and make it a much smoother process. Right now, you do not have the ability to upload documents. You do not have, you know, a password and a login that are going to work today. So I can tell you that right now. Hope is that they're going to fix it and that you will be able to go back in. We have been told that they're going to email everyone with exactly where you left off and that they're going to be able to help you through that. As soon as we are given information, we have a call with them tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll come back on tomorrow at 11 o'clock and try to answer as many questions as we can. But the hope here is that you're going to be getting direct contact from Lendistry. And I know it's tough with us as an intermediary, not knowing all the answers is frustrating to you. I get it. It's frustrating to us to not be able to give you the complete answer if we don't know it either. But we're trying to give you what we know. And, you know, as they're working through the issues, and I know it's awful, right, that there's issues through this, but they're working through them. We're trying to help them understand it. And at the same time, we're trying to help you fill this out correctly. So wherever you're at today, don't panic. Just let them try to work on the system now. If by tomorrow they don't have the system up, you know, then let us try to weigh in on where they should be at and try to help put some pressure on them to fix these things the right way. But with that, you know, that's kind of, I think, sorry, I kind of stepped on my soapbox, but let's try to answer some questions for you. And I'm a small business owner as well, you know, trying to go through this as well. This is frustrating, right? This is like PPP all over again of like, just give me the straight answer and give me the right answer so I can proceed. Unfortunately, there isn't that answer at this moment. So there's nothing that I can tell you today that's going to help you with a passcode, a password, and some of these other questions that you're asking, but I will do my best. So with that, Scott, Manal, if you guys want to start asking some questions, we can go through it. Julie, I want to thank you. That was awesome. That was by far the best translation we've had in any language. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday to do that with us.
No, thank you very much. Do you need me to stay on to do the Q&A?
I don't think so. I think we're okay.
Okay. Sounds
but yeah,
good.
I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you very much,
Julie. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we will try to answer some questions. Manal, Scott, any questions that you're seeing?
Yeah, we received a few questions. It looks like, what if I am a third party, like a CPA or bookkeeper, and I'm trying to apply or complete the application on behalf of my clients? Do I use my email address if I'm applying for multiple clients? So do we have any insights on this?
Yeah, you need to use the client's email address. So that's one of the things that Lendistry is cross-checking. So they only want to see it one time. So if they see an email address more than once, if they see a social security more than once, EIN number or address, they are cross-checking that. You can only get this grant no matter how many businesses you own. You can only receive one of these grants. So they will kick you out if they see your email address more than once. So be careful with that. You know, and I would say, you know, you need to have your clients fill this in. Maybe you have a Zoom call and you're walking them through it. If that's not the case, you know, just be careful. I'm not sure what kind of background abilities they have to see where it came from. But yeah, you can only do one email address.
And we've received, thank you, Mike. We've received multiple questions relating to business structure change. What if my business started as a sole prop 5 years ago, for example, and then, you know, about 3 months ago, I changed to an LLC. how do I apply? What kind of
Yeah.
information do I use?
Perfectly credible. You know, so if you change from a sole prop to a S corp or an LLC or vice versa, right? You went from an LLC to a sole prop. You are able to apply with your current entity structure. So whatever you currently are, and then you'll have the ability to if you receive the grant, you'll have the ability to then explain what happened, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, right? You did nothing wrong. The system doesn't allow for the change. So, but we've been told by industry that is perfectly acceptable, and the state's guidelines allow for that. So know that you're going to be fine. Now, I did see a question here that said that you changed from a for-profit to a nonprofit. I'm going to assume that you're still okay, but I can't guarantee that. So I will ask that question. That's the first time I've seen that pop up. You know, but I would put in your nonprofit is what I would do if that's what you currently are, because that's what they're looking for. What are you currently today? But I will try to get you that answer. And then Scott, I don't know if you have in your emails, if you could go back and find that information that the state gave us about the nonprofit that could help, Cal Nonprofits. And
yes, Cal Nonprofits, yeah. They're actually one of the partners.
I know.
By county, yeah. So California Nonprofits.
But they do webinars as well, specifically for the nonprofit side. They're going to be much more adept than we are at being able to answer some of those nuanced questions. And, you know.
So as Scott is looking through this, you know, Mike, for the sole prop, Schedule C is enough, or do I need to submit all of my taxes, all pages?
It's all of your federal taxes if you are anything outside of a sole prop or 1099. So if you have a 1040 and a Schedule C and that's all you filed, then it's the whole thing. It's the 1040, Schedule C, everything. If you are an LLC, an S corp, a C corp, it's just your federal documents, but it's all of them. And I know it could be 60, 70 pages. They want them all.
All right. Okay. So, and I'm seeing the same question repeat itself over and over again. If you are a sole prop or if you are a business owner and you don't have employees, you can count yourself as an employee on the application. Correct, Mike?
Absolutely. Now, there's going to be two questions that are kind of contradictory to each other. One is going to be a sole prop with no employees, right? That's what you're going to select on that one. And then you're going to go down and say that you are the one employee in your business. I know that's contradictory to each other, but that's how we've been told to answer that question. And again, either way you answer that will not eliminate you from this grant. That is not part of that's not even part of the scorecard itself. I just want to make sure that you're aware. And if you answer these incorrectly, supposedly you're supposed to get an email. We don't know when, but the hope is tomorrow that you can go back in and make changes, right? You can see that this application is pretty short. If you're able to get in and actually do it all, it should take you less than 20 minutes, but I get it, right? You go from one page to the next, and it kicks you out or you can't finish. I totally understand.
In terms of filling out the application, is the revenue requested from 2019 taxes or revenue for the past 12 months from today?
So it's your revenue from your 2019 tax return, depending on how you filed it. It's a specific line that they're looking for. So we'll go back into that in just a second. But it is a specific line. It's your gross sales or your gross revenue is what they're looking for. Not after you've taken out all your expenses. They don't want all that. Just what did you gross in your business, right? So.
All right. So if I answer no to will this grant create new jobs, it will disqualify me?
It will not, and that's quite okay, right? I mean, for some businesses, $5,000 isn't enough to keep an extra employee, hire more employees. That's perfectly fine. They're just asking the question. They have their rationale why they're asking those questions. We don't know what the rationale is, but it is not part of the scorecard that they're using to, as they score your answers.
So Mike, I'm not sure because I was answering questions and I apologize. I'm not sure if you covered that but we do have multiple questions pertaining to how is the decision being made on who's being selected for the grant.
Yeah, I'm going to go right into that. Can you give me one? I'm trying to copy all these questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you ask one more and then I'll go back into it in a second?
Yes. If my business was forced to close, does that mean I have 0 employees? I had 18 because I was forced to close. What should I include in the application?
Yeah, you're closed right now. Like, let's say you're a restaurant and you're completely closed. I personally would still put the 18, but that's up to you. You're at least one, right, yourself, even if you're closed. But I would put the whole amount of where you left off. And that could be incorrect information. But again, that's what I would put. And again, there's no right or wrong answer to employee size, but that's what you were right as you closed, right? If you're under the stay-at-home orders and you don't have the ability to open, you still have 18 employees. You may not be paying them right now, but that's what you have. So that's what I would put.
All right, perfect.
That's right. I'm supposed to pull up something. Hold on one second. And we hope that we're answering everybody's questions, but we know we're not going to get to everybody's. You know, you can definitely, you know, we're trying our best. You know, we will have full staffs of, 2,000 consultants tomorrow at all of our SBDCs, all 65 locations. I will share with you guys, and you should get this this PowerPoint that has all of our locations based on wherever you're at. And that will allow you to, call directly to that center. And I'll share with you in just a second. I know it's super hard to read that one, but I'll get to it in just a second.
The grant is taxable, so you will have to pay taxes on the grant amount. It is specific to your tax bracket and all that. We don't have examples of how much tax you'll be have to pay, but you'll get a tax form before February of 2022, and then you will have to pay taxes on this. So it is taxable. It's a grant. You don't have to pay it back. It's not a loan.
Yeah. So if these are the 4 qualifiers that we've been given that they are basing it off of. Now, I'm sure there's other pieces to it, but these are the 4 big ones that you can see on the website as well. If your business or nonprofit is located in an area impacted the most by the effects of COVID-19, now that's a tough one, right? Because that is every area throughout the entire state of California. So I'm not sure what that means as far as, everyone has been shut down or close to it at some point. Number 2 is businesses impacted the most financially based on gross revenue losses. That's that last page of the application. And I don't know if they're doing it by percentage or pure dollar amount. I'm going to hope it's by percentage, because that to me would signify a better answer and a more articulate answer. But it's based on where you're at the first quarter 2 and quarter 3 in 2020 versus 2019. The third one is certain impacted industries, including retail, food and hospitality, health and wellness, and personal care. So beauty salons, nail salons, barbershops, spas. I'm going to hope that gyms are in there, all those businesses that were forced to close and been hit really, really hard. And then the fourth one are underserved small business groups. So if you're a woman-owned business, a minority, a person of color, veteran-owned business where at least 51% of the business is owned and run on a daily basis. So again, if your business is owned and operated by at least 51% of one of those groups, you're in an LMI area or you're in a rural community, that's part of the scorecard as well. Now, 51% is an interesting answer, right? Or an interesting definition. It's up to you to choose, right? There's no certification that you need to go out and get. If you're a husband and wife team and you're 50-50, technically you don't fit that 51%. But if your husband and wife team and your wife, or the female in the business is doing 51% of the work and the male is doing 49% of the work, then you would constitute a 51% ownership of a female-owned business or woman-owned business. Up to you to decide where you fit in these things, right? If you're a veteran, you're going to know it. So some of these are pretty straightforward, but some of them are leaving it up to you to decide. So you determine what you think you are. Okay, so.
So also another question, if I've had higher revenue in 2020 versus 2019, can I still apply?
You can still apply, but you can see, how they're basing these things, right? Now that might be just one factor. Maybe the other factors, on the scorecard. And again, we don't know what the algorithm that they're using, what that looks like and how they're determining all these things. But I would suggest, apply, right? If all these were working correctly, this application, it should take you no more than 20 minutes. For me, I would say don't ever turn away from applying and trying to find funding for your business. We all need it. So I would definitely say apply. And I apologize that it's this frustrating for everybody because I know where this is at, but I would suggest applying still. I would also suggest, like I've said in the past, the last couple of days, is wait till Monday or Tuesday. Let's see if they can get through all the technology issues. It's going to be a lot easier once they get through that. If they get through that, crossing my fingers, and I'm sure they will. And then it's going to be, hopefully, you can see the application. There's not much to it. So, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank
Okay.
you. And, you know, again, I know Scott and Mike mentioned this. I'd like to apologize again. We're doing our best to get to all the questions. I think, Mike, I know you're keeping track of the questions. We have almost, 800, 900 questions. We really are trying our best. And I know Scott shared on multiple occasions the phone number and the email address for our SBDC team, so you can reach out. I know that we do have, for today on the 833 number, we do have people who are taking calls. Be patient. We are doing our best to get back to you, and mainly to provide you with the latest information that we have. So Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that screen, but we will send this to you as well. But we have 65 centers. They are all fully functioning as of tomorrow morning. So they should be able to help you one-on-one if you need the help. Now, again, right, we're trying to answer the questions the best we can, and we feel like we're as knowledgeable as anybody else on this, and there's some that we just can't answer either because it's still a gray area. So, you know, if you need the help, reach out to us. We have centers: Northern California Central, LA, Ventura, Orange County, Inland Empire, and then San Diego and Imperial. So those are the networks. So Manal, Roger, and myself both come from the Orange County Inland Empire network. Scott comes from the NorCal SBDC network. We will be doing trainings and programs all day long, starting tomorrow, in multiple languages across our networks. So please, you know, reach out to us. I know it's frustrating again, right? I mean, I know that we received 20,000 calls and emails the very first, what was it? Was it last Friday or what was it, Scott?
It was like Monday.
Monday. So we're trying to get to everybody, but just know that, you know, trying to answer 20,000 emails and phone calls takes a while, right? Even with, you know, the size of our networks. But we are trying to get to you, and it keeps changing, right? It's changed from where it was last Monday to where we are today on Sunday. So my guess is it's going to change again tomorrow, Tuesday, right? It's going to be a little bit different. But Palm Springs, you're actually located in our area. Sorry, that's the last question that popped up. So you can reach out to Manal directly. Manal will send you her contact information and her home address. So if you want to have dinner with her, you definitely can, right, Manal? No? So, oh, she just cut out completely. So, anyways, yeah. So if you want to keep going with
You. So I'm losing internet connection here.
I know. It's funny how that happened. Yeah, so she's stuck. So let me go. Any other questions, Scott, that you're seeing that are, you know, again, sole prop, independent contractor, you can all apply. You know, real estate agents, as long as you file a Schedule C and that you're not filing a Schedule E. If you happen to file a Schedule C and E, you're just going to count your C. Somebody in here wrote that I want to have dinner with Scott. You know, I've had dinner with Scott. I don't know that you really do, but, you know, I'll leave that up to you. He doesn't, he's not, you know, it's not a great conversationalist. But.
It's all about capital for me. You want money, we can help you.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Right, I don't think we're not going to get to all the questions, but we do download all the questions that we can't answer. We send to the state of California. We also send to Lendistry. If you go to CaliforniaReliefGrant.com, you can check out all the FAQs, frequently asked questions. The most updated frequently asked questions are on that website. So if you have other questions, most of the questions are on there. There's also a guide on how to apply and ask questions within that, answers questions within the guide on how to apply page by page. And then also eligibility and stuff like that. Everything that we went over is on this website, CaliforniaReliefGrant.com. You could apply through here. You can apply through our website at californiasbdc.org. You can apply through any county, any partner website. You can't go to lendistry.com and apply, though.
Right. This is the Lendistry site. Up here, Scott had mentioned on the homepage, on the top ribbon, you can go to FAQ, and they've tried to update this as to what's here and given you guidance. Like this right here. This is a great one, right? I've seen this question multiple times every day, and I get this is like the most frustrating question for you guys. I get because you're not getting an answer, but it says my application was started but unfinished before the first application window closed at 11:59. Do I need to restart my application? You can log into your account. Well, I'm going to skip that because you can't log into your account. So some of these FAQs, they're going to need to update as well. So I'm not going to go through these FAQs, and maybe I'd wait a day, let them upload them and update them.
Yeah, it should be all good. I mean, from what we've been talking to the industry in the state of California, Monday's the day. We'll do one more of these webinars on tomorrow at 11. It'll be English and Arabic. It'll be a side-by-side translation, just like what we did today in Korean. And tomorrow we should have more updates from the industry in the state of California that we can give to you to kind of ease some of your frustrations and kind of make it a little bit more calmer of an application to process and to update. And as much as you can trust us and believe us that once you have submitted your application or halfway submitted your application, put your email in there and your phone number, they do have all that tracked. So even though it will not allow you to go in there right now, they do have it tracked, and you will be able to hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, so I see a couple questions too around operating, in California, but with a different corporation. All perfectly fine. You're allowed to do that as long as you have, your taxes are filed, and you can show that you're doing sales in California. But that's, that's what we've been told. So you should be okay. Yeah, if you file a Schedule E and not a Schedule C, you would not qualify. They were pretty clear on that one. Industry with us, that if you don't have a Schedule C and only an E, that you don't qualify. So anything else, Manal, Scott, that maybe we're missing?
We answered a lot of the most common ones. Questions around 2018 or 2019 taxes. So depending on your most recent filed, so if you haven't filed 19, you are okay. If you filed 18, you can use 18 taxes for your most highest revenue. If you don't have 18 filed, then yes, there would be something that we'd have to do. You'd have to do as a workaround probably. So we don't have an answer for that if you haven't filed 18 or 19. But they are not at this time. They're not taking 2020 P&L, profit and loss, and balance sheets. They're only taking 2019 or 18 taxes.
Yeah, so just the taxes, right? They don't need your P&Ls.
Yeah, no P&L.
So. Okay, so with that, we're gonna hopefully have a lot more information. Hopefully, Lendistry is going to reach out tomorrow to everybody to let everybody know where they're at and where this is in the process. Because I can see that you can't apply through us right now. And again, partner doesn't matter which one you choose. You go through any partner you want, any county you want. The hope here is that you're going to go through your county of where you live or where your business is. But go through whichever one you want. There's nothing that's going to, it doesn't matter which partner you go to. Once you get through the partner, it goes right into the main website or the main application. So it doesn't benefit you to choose one over the other. Really what they're looking for, did anybody help you, or do you need help from any of those groups? So. I did see, and that's a big one that I get a lot too, is hair salons. And if you're renting chairs and they're 1099s, they can apply on their own. Absolutely. So. Okay. So with that, thank you all.
Before we wrap up, because I saw that note a few times, you do not pay the partner. We are here to help you at no cost. Do you want to speak to that, Mike?
Yeah, so there's no cost to any partner here. You shouldn't be paying to fill out this grant application. It should not cost you anything. This is pretty straightforward. Don't pay anybody for anything, right? You're not going to pay any of these partners. These partners don't reach out to you. You don't need to become a member. If you see like a chamber or something else that you're going through, it does not matter. It's all at no cost, right? So there's nothing that you pay for. This is all a free application, and so, yeah, so. Hopefully that answered the question. So, okay. So with that, everybody have a good Sunday. Hopefully everybody's a Ram fan, but I get we're all not Ram fans. So we need a win to go to the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. So everybody have a good Sunday. Like I said, I hope we have a whole lot of information for you tomorrow that will address every question that's been asked that we don't have the ability to answer at this moment. So thank you. Everybody have a good Sunday.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Nice job, guys.